Hello, it's been a while since I made a video. Sorry for the late aspect of one. It's been a while, but I've been potentially feeling like crap and shoes, so it's probably one reason why I haven't done so in a while. Unfortunately, you guys already know me, but fortunately more or less because of these. This is just something new in general, it's for hilarity's sake. And fortunately, this is something I'm working on something, but this is potentially one of them. It is obviously, well, it's kind of explanatory. I think it's kind of explanatory what it is. A bone sword mixed with a bit of Nerf stuff so it's usable. And unfortunately, so when I need to just... then... boom! And if I need to just... ah! Ah! Wow! Boom! So that's that. Unfortunately, we're not here to actually discuss that. We're here potentially to, well, show off more or less these in general, my little pet projects. Here's one of them. As you can, well, it was part of my old Wesker version, but I disintegrated that to make this, which I think it looks a lot better. But that's not the other reason. We're more or less here to look at potentially what I got in these little boxes, which I'm going to be taking apart, yes, so that way people know exactly what I do. So it's like, what I'm doing at the same time is I'm taking these apart and building them into the versions that most people like, that know, like things like this. So here's the first one up. It's the Gen 2, but I'm probably going to use these handle grips for something, and I'll probably show you why in a few minutes. It's a Gen 2. So it's got the full auto capability, similar to this guy right here, which some people already know, which is my other one. And here's my own custom recently built in general, which is my, well, yeah, it's my own custom variant of, well, this is my own version, which is the Samurai's Edge Wesker model. It took me a lot of time to get the parts, but it's a Gen 2, so it can go full auto, so it's terrifying. But you have no idea how much money I had to spend into this little pet project. The Gen 1 I had is actually easy to be created, so I'm actually going to do a video at that. At some point, we'll actually build the Gen version 1 of the Wesker Custom, which is already known by Tokyo Marui, which I want to build my own version, which this is the better version of that version that I got earlier. Which is obviously one of these guys down here, similar to the gold one. And then there's the actual real one, which I think most people already know pretty well, in which I had one of these at one point that I sold. So yeah, I had one of these, sold it to a guy, you know who you are, and I'm going to be building a new one. And then you have this one, which is kind of, yeah, everyone knows this one by now, or should. It's the Gen 2 version, and it's usually running on the Gen 2 stuff like those ones down there, which I'm probably, well, it's got the smaller barrel in general because of the things in general, but unfortunately it's got the long barrel, so I'm going to have to swap that out to make it indoor legal. Easy enough. I've done it once before a long time ago. I might have to do that in general when I have to probably do so. And then there's another one of these guys, but it's a funny one. It's, you think it's blotted out, but oddly enough, it's got the, well, we already know in general that like there are versions out there that just sell the silver paneled one, or just the plain, I guess, which is the average Burton. Well, kind of, I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. I'm not really exactly sure what the deal is with that. All I know is in general that they sell these ones now in general just by this, but I was surprised to have these silver parts. So, extra happy with that. And if I really wanted to, ta-da! I got the actual original grips. And for whatever reason I bought potentially the Barry Burton 2 model grips, because I want to put them on this. Yeah, these on this because I think it'll look a lot cooler. And for all you Resident Evil nerds, in a sense, I have a little, well, I just finished my own pet project. It is, everyone should know this one. It is, what was that character's name again? Jill Valentine's model, but this is my own variant. Obviously, it's exactly the same like the Tokyo Marui version, but this one's actually full hard-cased metal, and man, I like it. And for other people, well, unfortunately, it's just the current. I only have these current pieces on there at the moment because they're just kind of there. But if anyone knows what this is in general, once I get these suckers on in general, I think everyone should be kind of explanatory what this is. It's the Samurai's Edge prototype Phase 1. I know somebody out there already made the Phase 2, but I thought, I want to crack at it for myself, but I want to build the Phase 1, not the Phase 2. So here it is, my Phase 1 version of the prototype Samurai's Edge. I watched the guy's video, so I thought that was really cool, and I just couldn't resist potentially. I was like, ooh, a Phase 1 in general. The guy's already been built the Phase 2. I thought, screw it, I want a Phase 1. So if I had to give any originality to that, I'd say those people from that video channel, I'd say those guys, I'd say, what's the wording? I'd say I owe them potentially on that one because they do videos on that. So you guys who already know who you are probably, but I don't remember your channel name, but I'd say like the content, like it because it's, well, you do stuff on Resident Evil again, so I thought that was cool. But yeah, then here's another weird one in here that I built a while ago, which is a green one. I had the certain grips on it, but I changed it back to this because it feels a little more nice, and it's my left-handed one. And then there's just my standard Beretta version, which I tried to look more closer to like a real model in general, but obviously the difference is that it has this. So I'm gonna have to change that out to the black one and probably do a little bit of fine-tuning because it's been acting funny. And then here's this other one. As you can see, I have a lot of Beretta type airsoft versions, but yeah. But let's get into it. So let's get my potentially little sucker out and get the panel grips on this sucker. Then we'll start getting into those ones on those grips, and then we'll start building those ones up. And now, where is the two? Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Let's see. And before anyone asks on the video in general, no, I don't usually sell these very often, but some of them I will be selling at a certain event in general where I live. It's happening on Sunday, but the video probably might not be uploaded until tomorrow, so which would be, today is Thursday, so by the time the video is uploaded, it should be possibly Friday or Saturday. So just keep that in mind when you get this video out. Or when you're watching. Yeah, come on. Go. So take that off. I wonder what the music I just like listening to music while I work. It's just something I like to listen to in general while I'm doing this stuff. It helps potentially when I'm extremely bored out of my ass. Oh yeah, I like that. That feels so nice already. I like that already. Also, I only have a limited time to actually do video time, so if my Guy says in general if we're running out of time in general, then well, we'll have to cut it in general. But I think in general you can kind of see what potentially I do for potentially my living when I do this stuff. Unfortunately, it's not cheap, but I need to do something with my time in general so I don't go completely and utterly mentally insane. Yeah, I have problems in my head. Get used to it, people. Fortunately, you can tell in general that some I have to cock it back and stuff. It gets a little worn because it's like, obviously when I have to do stuff and test it, it can get worn over time while in the testing, so that's why it looks a little bit tiny bit worn. But hey, in general, at least you know in general, at least it actually works. This gun has already been tested a few times to make sure it works. Unfortunately, I have to admit, I'm probably not going to sell it because it's a customary type in general. That's like a collector's, so I'm not going to sell this anytime soon. Maybe I might if somebody really, really, really wants it, but you have to offer me something good for it. So that one's done, so I'm just going to go put that somewhere in a second. Just going to go put that on the other bed that's around here. There we go. Then that way you can see it later. Which I have to put that one over there now too. I should grab the ones that are already done. Yeah. That's me. We can already tell. I have two of these on that one, but that one's from a different one, from an old one that I already had, which kind of fell apart. But I was able to repair it, and then I sold it to a guy already. Fortunately, these ones are a little bit better condition, so I kept the ones that are a little bit better condition because the other one looked a little more scruffy, I'd say. So I thought, hey, scruffier looking gun bunch, he deserves a potentially a little worn out version. It's like, but hey, the gun bunch was, it might look a little bit scruffy, but the internals were all replaced with newer internals. So the gun might look a little bit scratchy, so people are like, oh, I might think, oh, it's the gun itself is punchy crap, but no, that's not the case. The gun itself is fine. It's just sometimes they look a little bit scratched up because you have to test them really thoroughly to make sure that they work really well. Ugh. Which can be a big pain in my butt. Because people are like, oh, in general, it's scratched up, so therefore I have to sell it, you have to sell it to be lowered. In general. It's like, if you want this crap in general, then, well, then you're gonna have to pay the price finally. Because I ain't taking anything lower because this stuff potentially is like brand new. It's just obviously they get scratched a little bit time. Like even those new ones down there, if you want to pan down there for a second, even those ones can get scratched up very easily after just a few seconds. So in my mind in general, I have to sell that stuff for a high price regardless, even if it looks scratched up, because some of these are actually brand new. I just had to give them a fair bit of testing, so that's why in general they look scratched. Like, look in general, this one's brand new in the package, and I already pulled it back just today in general, just to make sure that cocked back properly, but it's already starting to get, the paint's already starting to chip. It's because, like I said, usually when they brand new in general, they're usually kind of finicky. Like, even though these mags are new, I won't lie, anything that's new, I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with it when people buy that stuff. I'm just saying in general that every time I've bought new stuff lately, it always has some kind of problem or issue, which I've noticed that I'm not having anything, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the companies that build them or anything. I'm just starting to notice that for whatever reason, when I buy pistols and other stuff, they usually crap out on me way too quickly. So that's why I started getting into more repairs, so I could kind of, you know, tinker and do my own thing. That way it's like, oh, that way in general I can say, my stuff is my stuff, and I know exactly what it is, and I know how it's going to work, and it's not just be some piece of crap. I'm not saying in general that the company's items in general are selling are poop or anything, it's just my own personal preference. And besides, when you are done with something in general, you get the hang of actually building stuff, it's so much fun what you can do. And also I'm actually kind of curious in general why, in my mind, people don't seem to make Beretta customizations. Like, I get the fact that there's Glocks, there's high Kappas and other stuff out there, but I haven't really ever seen a good potentially build for an M9. Maybe that's just my own. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. But in my mind, I see a lot of videos out there potentially dedicating their time to those ones and other stuff. But come on, in general, it's like yeah, just give me a minute. Just slightly tighten that up a little more. And that one too. Now the other side. Yeah, well, like I said, Andrew, I don't see very many modifications on stuff, but when you end up with something like this, I think it's worth potentially kind of saying, "Ta-da!" Unfortunately, I don't want. If I did make the video, people would know what this is from. It's from the Barry Burton version that I had, and a few months later, I actually found the compensator for it, which I was like, "Son of a B word," because let's just say. I was just pleased that I found this because I thought I lost the piece for it, so I chopped it up and tried to make it into a Wesker customary. And I was like, do it, whatever. It used to be on that one, so I was like, whatever, do it. I put on this. It looks good with this because of the silver, of the two-tone aspect, and I thought these would be a good aspect for the time being, but if I manage to get these grips, I think it kind of just says overall the gun that, wow. And just that, yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be so much fun when it's built. Fortunately, I'm taking up this thing for the time being because it's, well, it's not gonna get uncomfortable or anything. I just thought it would be easier to work into it with that thing off my face for the time being. I'll probably put it back on later. Ta-da! Yeah. Okay, let's see. I don't know what I want to do with this just yet. Like, it's so, like, people might ask, oh, it's so nice, Joe, why would you do anything to it? But why wouldn't I not do something to this in general? It's like, how could I not mess around with it for that? Like, I'm about to say I just had to add this compensator on that in general. It looked awesome. Well, in my mind. Maybe to you guys, maybe not, but I want to add those grips or those ones. Actually, just odd. Alright, I'll put those grips on one of these. Ah, there we go. There we go. Paneled wood ones. Nah. These nice shiny pieces of, what do you call it, butt steam on that. Fortunately, these are two different models, so that I can't actually transfer these parts onto that, which kind of suck. But my idea is maybe, because I know these grips are version 2, but they still work on the version 1s, because like these are version 2s, but I know that they work on these guns as well. It's just I need a different grip for that, which is easy enough. But these on that, with potentially a silver this, silver that, and potentially silver this, this, and that. And this potentially part up here, potentially being the barrel, I can probably get a gold one if I'm lucky. And obviously, it looks like that needs to be glued for whatever reason, and a silver guide rod. Obviously, it's going to take some time to do that, but at the same time, when I build another one of these, build another one of these, it'll look a lot different and a lot more strange looking. Obviously, if I did the thing, like I had to do the compensator, this is actually on there permanently. I can't get it off, so there's a small chance I'd actually have to grind this down to make it work for the compensator of that, because, well, I had to do the thing on this one, and which I regret, because a few days later I found the piece in general that actually, well, this one's actually on there, it doesn't come off. I found my other version, like this one, that actually has the one that actually does come off. Let's just say I spent the first hour potentially swearing up a storm. But at the same time, I still found it funny and humorous. What do you guys think? Should I take these silver parts, because I have most of the silver parts on this one, and migrate them over, and then deassemble this one to make this one up and running? And actually do it, that's what I'm going to do. As much as I'm going to hate deassembling this, I'm going to do that. And I can probably turn it into something later. I got other plans I can do, so first things first, let's get those golden grips on there. Fortunately, I'm going to have to get some glue for this later. Also, I'll probably use the silver bolts on that one as well. Okay. People say eventually pimp gun. Well, I say I'll build one. For airsoft and hilarity. This is gonna be so much fun. Once done. Oop. Slowly. There we go. Hey, what the heck's going on here? Okay, there's a good chance I might better switch that one up for that one in general, because it looks about the same, so I might switch that one over to that one because I want the silvery. But I can do that later. But if I'm going to, let's get that punchy deassembled. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna have to probably deassemble it either way. There we go. Okay, take that out slowly. Okay. Let's see. I'll probably have to take that off as well, so that way that doesn't come flying off later. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like 3 separate what do you call it, takedowns of every gun, which is gonna be a pain in my butt to get that one working, but when it's done, I know it's gonna look completely ass-kicking. Or I could probably just move potentially all the internals from that one into this one. Well, actually, I guess that'd be better, because at least I know that the internals in this thing have already been potentially decked out in the way, and it also has got this fine-looking trigger. But then, what I have to do? Wait, what am I talking about? I'm obviously going to do the disassembly anyway. That was the whole point of this. So you can see when I build these things from the ground up and how I go about them. That was the whole point of this. Why am I stopping halfway through in my own aspects? And I just feel like an old person or an idiot. Also, I don't know why, but when I got this one, it has some, well, they kind of rubbed it down, I'm assuming, but it's got some brass stains on it, so it's like crap and chew, but I'll probably think of something to do with that one. I'll try to make it look as best I can, but no good aspects that I might or might not be able to. But I got some ideas for it. Actually, ooh, I like the idea of that in general. If I did that one like that, ooh, it would look really good. Ta-da! So far. All right. Let's see. Yeah. One of these guys. Push down as usual. Push there. Push up there. Go. Slowly. There we go. Alright, so I know potentially I'll have to use these parts later, so hopefully potentially having to do all that crap. So long, gun. You've been awesome, but I'm gonna make you better. Suds, how would I not potentially want one of those? Actually, no, wait. Forgot. I need to get off the top. Nope. That would be the second one up. Man, I forget how freaking tight I usually tighten those on. Ripes. Okay, good. My ears are still on. As you can tell, this one's in pretty good condition for the rail. It's I keep it really maintained, so even though it's been used a lot, you can tell that it's been really well maintained. Barely minor scuffs is where potentially this is essentially wear and tear because it keeps rubbing on the side a little bit, but ta-da! Well-built guns potentially that I build potentially can last a very long time. Even though this thing wasn't built a long time ago, the internals were potentially from my original one, which I managed to keep in oddly enough surprising additions. Just the internals potentially have always been swapped to a different like model like this, like taking out and then putting in. So it's been seeing a lot of migration, but all the internals in general. Like up in here, I'll probably have to move those internals into that one, which is gonna be a big pain in my butt probably, but I'll probably test it without that first to make sure that it works, and then probably do the rest. Okay, go. So, right. Those out. Before that, let's just make sure that sits on there nicely first. Oh, that's gonna look so good on there, in my mind. Let's just make sure that actually, I know this is a Gen 2, but I want to see if that actually fits on one of these. Nah, pain in the butt. Gen 2, potentially the Gen 2 version gold of this doesn't fit on the newer versions, or the old Gen 1s, so I'll probably use a silver. Now, well, at least I'll add overall to the overall, a little bit of silver with a little bit of this and that. The only thing that will probably be different on the gun is probably the back hammer, which would be the only thing that's out of color on that. But at this point, it's like, it is what it is, and it's the only way, at least in general, that way I'll kind of, expand from the other color. Because I'll probably end up using, for the other color in general, I'll probably end up using a, where is it? Well, whatever, I'll use a certain mag in general so you can see it lighter. But until then, let's keep doing this. So people are going to ask me probably, what am I going to do with this gun? Am I going to sell it or whatever? Because that's what people usually ask in general, most videos in general, that people always do these de-assemblies in general. No, I'm not going to sell this. Well, I might, maybe, depending, I don't know. Once I rebuild it to a different variant. Yeah. right, I have to get that out later for that one. I don't know if I must have forgotten to put that little pin on that one. Odd. No, well, this with that one in turn, I can use the pin from that one, so I'll save me a bit of hassle. I don't know why potentially that pin's missing. Oh, right. It was that day that I lost the pin for that. Slowly. Yep. Put that down, put that off. There. I'll actually need that one for that one because it's a specialized type version. People might think, oh, how's it special? Trust me, in general, I know what I'm doing with my own weapons. I know my own weapon. I've been building them for a long time. I know what I'm doing. Or do I? Okay, so move that onto there. That. Well, yeah. Oh, right. Actually, no, that should be fine by the way it is. Too much, but still. Good. That little spring user has a tendency to try to come out, so if I just leave it very carefully, there we go. Should be fine. So yeah, there's my old that. Before anyone asks, is in general, will this pimp-looking weapon eventually ever be sold? Maybe. But obviously, in general, I have to sell it for a heavy price. It's not obviously that I get these in very often. It's just extremely lucky when the company eventually gets them in. And yes, before anyone also asks, I could do custom orders, which I would do, but especially if the person wants to pay for that kind of stuff. That only becomes the secondary issue of that. Is it stuck on again? Oh yeah, right. Nope. No. Bad. No. Okay, there we go. There's... Now, the more annoying part. I'm doing the same to that one so I can get this little sucker to put on that one so I can have a little piece on that, and then that. Ah. People are asking in general what I'm going to do with the other pieces of this in general. Well, you guys will see pretty quickly what I'm going to do with this. Ow! Son of a hippie. Man, I forgot to love those little things. Oh, surprisingly enough. Yeah, right, that one just kind of sits there. I think these ones are a little bit strange. So one of those types, I can't really tell actually. Right. Yeah, dog farts, but whatever. Might have the excess spare part for that in one of these. That one. Not metal. Eh. Let's see. Right version, but it's dark colored. No racism intended. Don't kill me. Take what on the internet. Let's see. Well, I guess there'll be a little bit of different color wrench. I was hoping to use the silver, but I'm pretty sure that's specific to that version, which is a big pain in my butt. But I doesn't seem to want it like it wants to come off, which. Well, I haven't figured out enough of these versions out, so I'll probably do that tonight. Well, so that's going to be my own other time, but I just want to work on the version 1s, so let's get back to that. Nope. Wait, what am I doing? Nope. He said, the guy behind the camera says 5 minutes, so unfortunately let's get this thing back together in its fully saturated form. 5 minutes on the clock. We'll lay do it. Open so. There we go. Push that down like that. Okay. Slowly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now for the last bits, which is that and that. People might ask in general, potentially, how long have I been doing this for? Well, I've been doing it since potentially I was in school, which unfortunately people say, oh, but Airsoft wasn't around until then in general. Well, Airsoft was around back then, it's just I didn't really know potentially about when. And it was funny because one day a person just said, oh yeah, did you know Airsoft is actually a sport in general where you actually get to shoot each other? Fortunately back then in general, I got a few Airsoft guns in general. I just thought, yeah, they look nice, but how am I ever going to get rid of them? Because it's like I have a few in general, and I have kind of a small arsenal. It's like, what am I ever going to do with them if I ever had to sell them? And then when people said, oh, there's an actual thing with this, I was like, well, that's when I practically crapped potentially a field day. Oh my gosh. This stupid grin I had on my face. Alright. Let's get those. Oh, where's the... Am I going blind or am I just going senile? I know I had that part somewhere. Right, it's on the other gun, but I'll have to take it off that, which is going to be kind of a pain in my butt, but I can use that one for that one, so whatever. Just give me a quick second. Yeah, we have to de-silver this one a little bit. But before that, actually before that, I'm too lazy at the moment to do that one part. We'll get this part done first, so I can always get the frame done. These screws are a little bit more worn out, so I'm going to put them on the other version of that Gen 2 because like it's a little more scratchy looking, so I'll probably put those on that. And so that way, this one will look a little bit nicer. Yep. Man. Yep. but I'll do that pretty much off time on my own. But first things first, I gotta get this one done first, of all things. Okay, so far so good. People are asking where I got the skeleton hammer in general. That's pretty explanatory. Even potentially, people are like asking, yeah, but it's on a Wii gun. We haven't seen potentially. I can explain that in one of my next videos at some point when I get around to it, if you guys really want me to explain how that potentially worked. But I'm pretty sure nobody really gives a crap nowadays, so I don't really see a wild reason. But if you guys want me to, I'll give a reason how I got that. I don't know, because most people don't seem to ever see them on these, or even any of these in general, which they do have certain ones out there, but I'll just leave it at this. In general, there is a way to get them to work on the gun. And it was actually kind of surprisingly simple, actually, to a degree that, well, it seems kind of malnutritionally, hilariously stupid. Yeah. Obviously, like I said, the only reason why this one is because it needs to be glued back on, so that's that. Where is that? Oop. Okay, there we go. Now, what am I forgetting? Right. This is technically a Wii barrel, so on a different kind of type of gun, so it should just better fit around there. My stomach's making that weird groaning noise. That isn't quite down all the way. People might ask, why is that a problem in general? Well, unfortunately, let's scratch the back of the hammer, which does kind of, add to this little wear part, which I don't like as much, so I try to keep that as less wear down as possible. The first steps to potentially, well, ta-da! I still need to get this part silvered out and probably this part silvered out, but I think it looks good so far. But I'm thinking, I might say screw it and actually put that giant compensator on it, because one, it'll be a look, because it's like, I'll have a little black part here, a little black part here, an under rail lug with a giant compensator, gold engine, well, not gold, but, where is it? One of these on like that in general, with that. I think it'll look pretty cool. What do you think? The camera guy agrees, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to probably chop that off, which is kind of gonna suck, but you can't argue with something that will look that well done. Unfortunately, I know like I said, I start to glue that part on, so that's the only other issue, but I think this thing is already looking as it is. Unfortunately, just to make sure, I'll put that right there so you guys can kind of get a overall feel of what it would look like. but I still need to get that silvered out. But overall, yeah. My current weapon potentially of, well, yeah. Yeah, that needs to be glued on there, but oh, that feels so good. Boom, 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 boom. I'll probably get the specialized silver guide rod under that, because even though potentially you won't be able to see it then, I know potentially it'll look and feel a lot better because I know those ones are a little more expensive, like the specialized version. So yeah. Actually, where was that magazine piece? But, eh. Let's grab the one here. Yeah, that. Yeah, this, that here. And I might actually just keep that there, just so it, you know, kind of still stains for a little bit of color. And then just that giant compensator on the front. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna look really, really cool. Just that bam, bam, bam. So, that's it for this video, and that's pretty much what I've been up to. So, I'll have to fart this one out.